Welcome back to our Chinese zodiac animals, because we're heading off for day 10 about a rooster. Well, anyways, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Time for a little rooster.
Tastes like chicken.
Don't reviewers, Thumber is part Phoenix, and he will come back alive, and, well, I hope.
Cartoons.
Well, hello everyone. Today it's gotta be why do roosters crow in the morning? Just you and me, y'all. Well, let's get things started about the rooster. Well, get you ready for the question, you'll say.
In the video today, we're answering a viewer question because Noah A asks us, why do roosters crow in the morning? Next to the bark of a dog or the gentle meowing of a cat, the crow of a rooster is one of the most recognizable animal noises on Earth. But why exactly do roosters feel the need to crow? And is there any truth to the idea that they crow more or only in the morning? Although chickens are one of the most ubiquitous and delicious animals on the planet, it wasn't until 2013 that scientists definitively answered these questions. First of all, it's important for us to point out that roosters will crow at all times and in response to a range of seemingly innocuous stimuli, like the sound of a car or someone walking into their coop. This is because the crow of a rooster serves several functions. Used as a warning source to let other roosters know the boundaries of its territory, the crow can be used to communicate with other birds and sometimes to celebrate getting lucky. Roosters really aren't very picky when it comes to excuses for crowing. That said, although roosters have been observed crowing at all times of the day and in response to even the most mundane of stimuli, they will indeed typically crow just before or at the crack of dawn. Because of the rooster's tendency to crow at everything for many years, scientists and bird nerds, who are officially known as ornithologists, were under the impression that roosters crowing at daybreak was simply crowing in response to the changing levels of light. However, after years of anecdotal stories about roosters knowing when daybreak was about to occur, scientists at Nagoya University in Japan decided to see if this was all just in people's heads or if roosters really were anticipating rather than reacting to the sunrise. In the research,
Need to get all sunrise.
Were run on roosters to answer these questions. To start, roosters were exposed to different environments for a couple of weeks. As expected with all groups, the roosters crowed at all times of day in response to a variety of stimuli, like being fed. So what about the mornings? Well, first, a group of roosters were exposed to an environment where it was light for 12 hours, then dark for 12 hours, and that was repeated for 2 weeks. As many have previously posited, the roosters really did anticipate the light, generally starting their pre-dawn crowing at about 2 hours before the light was to turn on. Another observation was that the most dominant rooster would be the one who started the crowing off. This lent credence to the idea that crowing is about marking territory.
Hey, are you mocking me? For what?
Our preliminary data suggest that the highest-ranked rooster has priority in breaking the dawn, and lower-ranking roosters are patient enough to wait and follow the
Well, it's a pity.
each morning. In a second experiment, roosters were exposed to a constant near-dark environment for 24 hours per day. Despite this, Yoshimura and his colleagues noted that the roosters quickly settled into a 23.8-hour day and would begin crowing the same time every day. Delight seemingly didn't seem to factor in here, and the roosters always crowed before dawn. Going further, when Yoshimura's team tried to trick the birds by randomly exposing them to bright lights or loud sounds at various times, while this did induce some crowing, they consistently responded more strongly to the stimuli.
Never heard that, Rev. You'll say that again.
Yoshimura et al. Concluded that the birds must have an internal body clock that tells them when to crow. Furthermore, due to the fact that roosters can't be tricked into crowing at other times of the day as strongly as they do around dawn, the researchers concluded that their internal clocks take precedence over external cues. As for why roosters seem to love to crow in the mornings, this isn't fully understood, but is thought to be tied with the aforementioned notion of crowing being primarily about announcing territory and where a particular rooster sees itself on the pecking order. This would also explain why roosters seem to crow in response to things like the sound of cars. The roosters assume such noises must be a potential rival.
Rooster's gotta be an early bird.
Similarly, when being given food, the crowing acts as a way for them to assert that it's their food. And of course, in the morning after a good night's rest, they are re-announcing to the world their presence at the very first opportunity. And now for some bonus facts. Although it's often portrayed as being a behavior exclusively observed in roosters, female chickens can and sometimes do crow. And now for another bonus fact. Contrary to popular belief, both a wolf's howl and a duck's echo. Wolves have even been known to use this to their advantage when hunting, making it sound like there are more wolves around than there really are. Further, wolves do not howl at the moon. This would give away their position and invite attack from wolves from another pack. Wolves have even been known to kill their own young.
You call it a wolf pack? Speaking of dogs, I will see the next
So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below and
well, I think it's time for Before You Go. Jokes all about roosters. What do you call a rooster for China? Kristian. How is a glory hole like a rooster crowing? They're both a cock-a-doodle-doo. What do you call a story about a rooster? A cocktail. What time it is when your fighting rooster wins its first match? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. What did a hen make a rooster cross the road because he was using foul language? What do you call a rooster drawing a doodle? Cock-a-doodle-doo. What do you get when you cross a rooster and a turkey? A cock gobbler. What do you call roosters who teach to his kids? An egg beater. What do the rooster across the road? He heard there were some pretty hot chicks at KFC. And finally, why did the rooster go to KFC? To see the chicken strip. Well, that's it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!